the CTO of Duolingo, was saying that there are more Irish people learning Gaelic, which is the main language in Ireland, than there are actually people living in Ireland. And that is what I know apps like Duolingo has done. So it transcends borders, and that is the positive side of it. The second trend is about promoting equity, enhancing diversity, and fostering inclusion. And it's very closely related to the UN Sustainable Goal number 4, which is about quality education. It really features quite high on that. There are lots of countries who have signed up to the UN SDGs. Hopefully, they say they will be reaching it in 2030. Some before others. So what do we do? How do we? What does equity stand for? So the E is for fairness and justice in treatment, access, and opportunity. The D is for diversity and the presence of differences in race, in gender, in age, in disability, and more. And I must say, for me, diversity is also about cognitive diversity. The artist is different, is cognitively different from the academic. And above all, it's about embracing the togetherness, embracing the presence that we all have, and acknowledging the other's presence as well. Inclusion, creating environments where everybody feels valued, respected, and have equal opportunities, access to opportunities. And it's really about when we say what happens in Rome stays in Rome, that's the safe environment. So everybody agreeing to it and trusting. So how do we go about, or really, why does EDI matters? And EDI matters because it promotes fairness and reduces discrimination. It enhances creativity and innovation, reflects ethical and social responsibility, encourages diverse curricula, supports students from all backgrounds, creates safe and welcoming environment for learning and growth, prepares students for global citizenship. And I've listed around 6 strategies for promoting and enhancing EDI in the classroom. So some strategies that we can use, like for example, implementing equitable teaching practice via tailoring our teaching methods to accommodate the different learning styles. Something that we all know of since Howard Gardner, yeah? But I think it's bringing this up to the surface again. Providing multiple ways for students to demonstrate their understanding and skills, and offering that little extra help for those who are not at the same level. And this is where personalization comes in. The second one is incorporating diverse materials and perspectives. So as content creators, I don't actually believe that any teacher will just use the textbook. They will always bring in material. They will always create. They will always curate materials as well. And when we do that as content creators and curators, we include different perspectives as well. That is one small thing that we can do. We can bring people from diverse backgrounds into the school to give us a talk. We can bring doctors, we can bring painters, we can bring mechanics, we can bring plumbers to tell us about what they enjoy about their role, their jobs, yeah? And the first strategy is creating an inclusive classroom environments where everybody is respected, and if there is an issue, it gets resolved there and then, and not letting it fester, for example. And sometimes we may have unconscious bias. Sometimes we may assume things about the other or about their own experiences, and this is about really being alert to stop our unconscious bias and stop thinking in a stereotypical way. Encouraging students' voice and participation, and this is much more than raise your hand or or raise your hand, or you go to the quiet one and try to motivate them. No, it's actually listening to what the learners are telling you. Listening about when they stand up and they read a poem that they wrote, you listen about what is the moral in that poem that they wrote, and you encourage conversations about it. And that's where the voice would come in. Educating ourselves and educating students about EDI. So staying informed of what's happening, staying informed about the different charters of EDI that are out there, demonstrating inclusive behaviors. So the teacher is definitely a role model. So unless we demonstrate inclusivity, then our students won't. And it's about, again, reflecting and adapting. I don't know if you guys do journals or something, or portfolio, but it's about seeking feedback from the students about inclusiveness in the classroom. And by continuously reflecting on our teaching practices. And this is another one, but I'm going to ask about which of these EDI strategies is currently in place in your context, and if you bear with me, so I'm going to shout them out. Setting clear, I'm going to shout them out. Implementing equitable teaching practices. Hands up for those who does it. Okay, guys, I need you to be working with me here. So hands up. Ah, thank you. All right. 20%. Incorporating diverse materials and perspectives. Wow, okay, 40%. Creating an inclusive classroom environment. Whoa, 70-80%. Encouraging student voice and participation. And when we have two hands, shall I say 100%? 100%. The room has woken up, thank you. The next thing is about measuring EDI progress. So it's not enough that we say we're including EDI, we're doing EDI, but it's actually measuring it and understanding whether it is effective or not. So implementing, monitoring, evaluation, and learning techniques, using surveys, tracking your presentation, having inclusion metrics, etc. And addressing challenges and solutions by addressing resistance, ensuring sustained commitment from leadership, balancing diverse needs, etc. And it's actually an art to balance the diverse needs as well. Now I want to talk about EDI in action. And before you see the next slides, I do apologize if the images are not as great as it should be, and you'll understand why. In South Africa, so I don't know if the flags are good enough or not, yeah? So in South Africa, the LEAP science and math schools focused on providing high quality education to understand communities, emphasizing social and emotional learning alongside academic excellence. In Ghana, Ghana's national inclusive education policy aimed to integrate children with disabilities into mainstream schools. So the policy included teacher training, accessible infrastructure, and supported services for students with disabilities. If we move on to Tanzania, and Sebastian, I hope I'm saying this right,